G'day everyone, welcome to Pre-World Human Powered Speed Challenge 2025, episode number 1. The wheels are finished. Look how fast they look. Get some good light with the tyres on. They look absolutely amazing. Pretty light. And we've got here a little magnet for my speed sensor. Chickens heard me speaking, so now they're all clucking at me. This tyre and rim combination is so nice. It's got like the nicest little half circle shape to it. It looks like a tubular tyre. Where's some good light? You have a look at that. Boom. It just looks fast just sitting here. It's I'm pretty stoked on how it's going to turn out, I reckon. Got the Continental Grand Prix on. And it's all seated nicely, seated perfectly, thanks to a little bit of silicone lubricant. Just put that around the edge of a bead, and when you're inflating a tire, it pops on and grips onto the clincher part of a rim quite easily. Otherwise, the friction's so high that it doesn't want to pop into place, and then your tire runs out of true. It just goes all wonky because it doesn't want to sit on the bead properly. But yeah, that looks super nice. Over here, I've got some foam offcuts from what I've had used previously. That's like my old seat from my 2019 Streamliner. And some little bits like this, and right now I'm going to pack it up with this bubble wrap into the travel bag. I finally got my pedals on my low racer / new world record setting bike. So later on I'm going to take my high racer out for a little ride, probably just around the streets. It's been raining today, but you know, the ground's dry enough that I can just ride around the local streets, not get too wet, because what I need to do is learn how to ride a bike again. This happens every single year. I don't ride the Streamliner for an entire year, and then when I get to competition, I get the privilege of learning to ride a camera bike again. So the best thing I can do to prepare for that is to do some really slow speed stop starts on this, so come to a really controlled stop, take off again, and focus on putting some power down and just really balancing it at slow speed, relaxing into the position, and sort of not stressing, and sort of getting a great launch. Because if you get a good launch, you get it's going to continue to be a good launch. If you get a bad launch, it's only going to get worse. So, which is what I've learned from years of experience. So, I'm going to take it out for a little ride after I finish packing, and a little bit later in the day. It's about 1:30 now, so just a couple more hours. So these tyres here, we've got the TPU tubes in them. I don't know, you can't really feel a difference, but apparently the rolling resistance is far less with them on. So fingers crossed, those 4 extra watts gets me, or per tyre, gets me some serious speed. Wheels are all bubble wrapped up. Time to zip it up. You can never be too protective when you're dealing with thousands of dollars worth of custom wheels that are critical to breaking a world record. So I have done absolutely everything to put as much foam fill in there as, not foam fill, as much bubble wrap in there as possible to protect it. Let's shove that in like that. And this side, might need to put the phone down. There we go, all packed in, nice and neat, not too heavy. I mean, the wheels are 2.7 kilos each. Yeah, all ready to go. This side has the rear wheel, and its axle protrudes quite a little bit, so hopefully it's padded enough, and this little hard case bit here stops it from getting damaged. But that's one less thing that I have to worry about packing later on in my packing journey. So right now I'm just going to go put it with my suitcase and forget about it. The tubes are deflated enough. Oh, damn it, I forgot these. I'll have to open it again. The tubes are deflated enough that they still hold their shape, but when we go up in the plane to 10 kilometers high, it's not going to explode the tube. Bit of an update on how my training's going as well. I've been using my home trainer a lot. Excuse the makeshift clothesline, it's wet outside, so we're trying it inside today. So yeah, I've been using my trainer a lot lately. I've been doing on Mondays interval training, 5 minutes on, 5 minutes off. Off is 130 watts, the on is 285. And that's getting pretty easy at the moment. So what I'm going to do is start upping my FTP threshold. The last few weeks I've done a few different sets where I did like a ramp from 3 minutes at 250, 3 minutes at 280, 3 minutes at 305. And that was pretty hectic. No, it was 320. No, it was like 310 or 15. It was pretty hard. So then I did 2 minute intervals instead. But last week I did 3 minutes at 320 watts and then a 2 minute rest and alternated that way. So a little bit the same, but sort of upping my power as well. And then on the Thursday, I've been doing my sprints, which is a 525 watt sprint for 30 seconds with a decreasing rest time with a 130 watt rest. So it starts off at around 230 and each set gets 5 seconds less and you do 12 sets. And I've been doing a lower RPM, which simulates what Battle Mountain would be like, so I'm not cheating, where if you use a high RPM, you use the rotational velocity and momentum of your cadence to hold that high RPM, and the higher RPM means lower pushing force, torque, pressure, torque, and power. So 520 watts seems easier at a higher RPM than it does a lower RPM. So last week I did 90 to 95 RPM, and it's like a leg press every rep. It's like super hard, but because I'm getting fitter, it's a lot easier. So that's how my progress on training's going. So I'm going to up my FTP. So next week it'll be like 550 watts on the sprints, and my 5 minute efforts will be around 300 watts. So feeling good. Lungs are feeling great. My anaerobic threshold is getting really high too. So what you do is you push into that zone where you've run out of oxygen in your muscles. You can't suck in enough oxygen into your system to maintain that power. So you basically start to collapse in terms of like your endurance. But what you have to do is try and push through that, push to a time, not to your fatigue level. And that really trains your body to push past the limits of what's possible and push into that red zone, which, you know, is what a sprint to finish is like. So I'm getting good at that, which is very reassuring for when I come to Battle Mountain and I get into that 1 kilometer to go, which is like 30 seconds, and I just absolutely stomp it and I hold on for as long as possible. So it's a very good feeling knowing that I'm getting there with my fitness. I've been swimming a lot as well, and I've got 5 weeks and like 1 day left till I fly out, and I get there a week early. So I'll train up to the day that I fly out. Deload week in Battle Mountain, swimming, 1 little light run, lots of stretching, and then competition. So I've got 5 weeks of intense training, and I've only been sort of fully training intense for the last 4 weeks because I got sick one of them. So I'm pretty confident that my fitness is going to improve a lot. So fingers crossed, that gets me some good speeds in Battle Mountain. Just rode over to my parents to drop a drill bit off that I borrowed, and riding home along the footpath. It's a little bit different riding a footpath compared to Battle Mountain because you're constantly avoiding bumps and poles like that one, and because your feet stick out so far in front of the pivot point of a front wheel, it's pretty hard to navigate tight bends, because the swing around with your feet, it's just different compared to an upright bike. Building my skills up though, slow speed, but I'll do some laps once I get back to my street. The geometry of this bike is a lot different to my Streamliner. It's really twitchy on the front end, so it's not exactly the same feeling as what I get on my Streamliner, and the footpath's slippery and I don't want to lean into corners, stuff like that. So it's not exactly how I would train in Battle Mountain, but it is building my spatial awareness and balance up in this position, which is definitely helpful. So the aim here, just riding up and down my street, is to do some stop starts. So I start in a gear, it's roughly the same as Battle Mountain, not too close because I don't want to stack it, because the Battle Mountain gear is really tall. And my stops I want to perfect as well, because I don't have as much turning angle as most people, and it makes it really hard to come to a stop in a controlled manner at slow speed. So last year I was blasting in, and that's what made me tip it on the last day after my fastest run. I came in too quick and everyone jumped out of the way thinking I was just going to blast straight through, but turns out I just stopped right on a dime. So that's what I'm going to do, some start stops, and just practice getting my balance at low speed at the velodrome. I do it with my eyes closed sometimes, not when I'm coming to a complete stop, but coming to a slow stop, like a slow go, I guess. Purely because it's kind of what it's like in the Streamliner at Battle Mountain. It's reduced peripheral vision. So I'll just do a couple of laps doing that. Well, that is it for this episode. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for maybe a few more coming up before I go to Battle Mountain. And definitely one episode every single day while I'm in America. I know you're keen. I'm keen. And I'm glad to be making these videos for anyone that watches who had the same path that I had when I first started. I had no idea how to do it or anything like that. This is a learning experience for them. I want these videos to be just information that people can take in and learn from. So I hope you enjoy them, and stay tuned for many, many more videos.